You might redrop it. You might redrop it.
I could always redrop that joke, but I wouldn't get your reaction to it. So folks listening will just have to be in complete mystery about the joke that I just dropped. Anyway, welcome everybody. How do you open an episode now? Yes, that's right. My name is Ian Taylor, and you're listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast, your semi-regular dose of hobby goodness. This week we have Jason.
Hello.
We have Keith.
Good morning.
We have Wesley.
Heyo.
There we go. And we have me. I wanted to start. I just wanted to quickly say Mick and MacLeod were the intro artists this week. And the reason I've chosen Mick and MacLeod is because I just want to give them a shout out because they've recently had a very close family member be quite severely ill. They've been through the ringer a little bit. And I believe that family member is pulling through. And I just wanted to give them a shout out and say, thinking of you guys and keep doing what you're doing, really. So I thought, that's why we use their intro. Have any of you guys ever heard the intro they did for this podcast?
No.
No.
I mean, I probably heard it, but
yeah.
I don't recall it.
It's nuts. They did it really at the start when this started. Do you realize this podcast is 5 years old next month?
Wow.
5 years old. This was the first Marvel card podcast. Yeah, there weren't even video podcasts about it. And now you can throw a rock and you can hit content about Marvel cards. So we started a trend, kids. But anyway, Mick and Matt did an intro before an episode had come out. I remember messaging them. And the one they came through that everyone would have now heard has got like Iron Man sound effects and proper like professional kind of shit going on with it. I'll play it for you afterwards, and you'll be like, oh, okay, that's what people are going to hear. Anyway, actually, I didn't plan to mention this, but I'm going to mention it. Did you know, dear listeners and dear colleagues, that Google Podcast is going away?
Really?
Google Podcast, they're wrapping it up because Google own YouTube.
So there's no point.
No,
it's a redundancy.
What they've done is they've opened up the ability for you to import your RSS feed for your audio podcasts into YouTube, so that it's people can listen to it on YouTube Music. So basically, YouTube Music is kind of replacing it, but it will also import all of your audio content to your YouTube channel, and it will put a static video. It'll put a video up there, but there's just the logo that's associated with the episode. So I clicked the button. So all of a sudden, the podcast YouTube channel has 208 audio videos up there as well.
Oh.
So I haven't managed to. I've been meaning to go back and actually I've started to go back and put audio in front of them so that people can clearly see what's there. But if YouTube is your preferred medium of choice, you won't be able to see the audio only episodes, kind of 1 to 140 odd. But you can now access the entire back catalogue through YouTube.
That's kind of cool.
It is pretty cool.
That's really cool.
But it also means that every week when we release an episode, the YouTube channel not only puts out the video that I manually upload, but it also pulls in the audio that I put out through Spotify. Because Anchor, who we do who the audio went through, is now owned by Spotify. So basically everyone's buying everyone else. But it's pretty cool. So every week when we put this out, if you prefer to just listen to it, you can still do that by YouTube. Or you can watch us on YouTube. Isn't it great?
Yeah, it's awesome.
You can great. Now, I will say, has anyone got an Alexa within their earshot? An Amazon Alexa?
If I yell enough, she might hear me.
Yeah, but because you can ask her to play the Marvel Card Collectors podcast. Did you know this? You can ask Alexa to play the Marvel Card Collectors podcast, and she will. In fact, she's here with me now. Shall we try it? Shall we try it? Let's give it a go. Hang on a sec. How
So what
much
is
will
it?
this
What is
game?
it? Does it play a random episode?
No, it plays the latest episode in the feed. So
Oh,
I'm going to
nice.
see if this will
Okay.
pick up. Okay, here we go. Alexa, play the Marvel Card Collectors podcast.
Getting Marvel Card Collectors podcast from resuming season 1, episode 196.
And she suddenly switched off.
That all kind of led to my first comic book shop job, which eventually led to me working.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's bonkers. Alexa, stop. So it's resumed the last episode I actually listened to, which was 196. Because weirdly, it's going to sound really embarrassing now. People are like, you listen to your own podcast? So sometimes, yes, I'll put it on if it's a good episode. And that was the one with TJ.
I knew it. I thought I heard him.
That was TJ from Upper Deck. The one with him and Joe. That's right, when they came on and talked about Fleer throwbacks. So that one was actually quite an interesting one. So I did put it on to listen to it again because they're interesting guys. But yeah, so you can ask Alexa to play the Marvel Card Collectors podcast, and she will do that. And it's also available on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and wherever good podcasts are found.
That's pretty cool.
There we go. That wasn't on my notes. That wasn't on my notes. Can we talk about Marvel Beginnings? Is about to hit Pack Wars. As we record, it'll be tomorrow. As people listen to it, it would have been on there for a few weeks. Who's going in?
This is the first I've heard about it, but I will definitely, because I'm sure, have they announced like parallels or?
Yes, they
yeah.
have. Right. I'm going to put it up on screen and we're going to look at the news article because I got the email. And I'm not going to lie. I got the email and my first response was mother. Because
Yeah, because
the
I've got to get
10, the top 10 is the Black Cat from that series, Marv Wolfman signed. Yeah, exactly.
Mother.
Yeah, that's exactly what my response was.
I think I have a beat button. Mother.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to share my screen and we can look at the news article that came up because I got the email and it was getting sweary up in here. Right, here we go. Marvel Beginnings Volume 2, Series 1. God, that's a mouthful. Is coming to Pack Wars on May the 21st. So again, in the past, as people listen. So you can see my screen now, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Good. Whiskey. Right. We're excited to announce that Marvel Beginnings Volume 2, Series 1 is coming to Upper Deck EPAC Pack Wars. Oh, crikey, they like their names, don't they? It's a lot of words there. At 9 a.m. Pacific time on May 21st. So I'm not going to talk about what Pack Wars is because I think everyone knows. If not, there is content out there and you can go on the thing and find. In fact, there's content of this very episode on the audio versions very early on when Pack Wars was but a baby. But the interesting thing about this is that you get fewer digital base cards in a pack. You used to get 5 with annual, so you get 4. But of course, when you buy like a Pack Wars pack, you usually get several packs. So then you get 4 digital base cards per pack. So the ones you play with will actually go into your collection. But they have Violet Rainbow parallels. That's the EPAC exclusive parallel. So Pack Wars exclusive Violet Rainbow parallels. And they are 1 in 3 in the pool of award cards. So I think that'd be fairly common. So Wesley, I think we'll be all right to pick those up. We'll just wait for those. Keith, do you have X-23 in this set?
I think she has a cameo card, but not an actual physical.
Right. Okay.
But is that saying there's a rainbow parallel first appearance?
Well, no, it says here an incredible lineup of award cards such as Violet Rainbow parallels, and in the list below it says that's a Pack Wars exclusive, and rare first appearance variants. But I think the first appearance variants are just the regular ones because it gives a list there. The following sets are included in the pool of award cards. So you've got the Pack Wars exclusive Violet Rainbow parallels, red border. They've spelled border wrong. Look.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They put an extra A in it. Oops. Hello, proof checking department. Hello. Blue border parallels, black border, and rainbow foil. So they were already in the main product. And these first appearance variants were already in the main product as well. But printing plates. Because I noticed, I was looking, because I regularly scan for the printing plates, and I've noticed relatively few pop up. If you go and have a look at printing plates from Marvel Beginnings, there aren't that many there, considering how many, considering
Right.
how long it's been out, and people have been going for it.
Yeah, that's curious because I pulled a printing plate out of a pack on ePack.
Oh wow,
Of a
okay.
base. Yeah, that Echo one.
Oh yes, that's right.
But so yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I think there's gonna be more popping up basically. One of the prizes listed above will be randomly awarded to the winner at the end of each Marvel Beginnings Volume 2 Series 1 Pack Wars match on Upper Deck E-Pack. So yeah, basically, you'll win one every time you win a round. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't know how many weeks it's going to run. And then it talks about combining cards, but this is just the regular combine that you already have, which I think we've all already done. Purple parallels, and then you get 10 of the purple parallels, and then you get a white rainbow beyond. I still need one more ego purple parallel, actually, if anyone's listening. I'm sure the market's about to get flooded with them, so I'm very patient. And then you got the leaderboard challenge. So this is week 1. Look at that.
Man, look at
White
that
rainbow
card.
parallel.
And it's got to be the
auto.
first week too. Like that's
Yeah.
the week that everybody jumps in.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, listen, I'm not going to be playing. It is a money pit to get into the top 10 or even the top 25. Certainly, as on Pack Wars, you have to spend a lot. Plus, there's all the time it actually takes you to play it. So, yeah, I'm just going to wait and see if one pops up. If I get it, I get it. If not, you can't have them all. As I've started to pragmatically believe. And then you've got a white rainbow parallel card featuring Green Goblin numbered to 25 as collectors who finish within the top 25 wins. So here's the thing. If you're in the top 10, do you get that one and the Green Goblin one?
No.
But that's numbered to 25, Keith.
I remember.
Do you see what I mean?
There's a post that came up this week. And Mr. Boyle is not happy about this because it seems like he's under the impression that he's going to need 6 different accounts on ePack.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
He's going to need to make sure one place is in the top 10, one place is in the top 25. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to get all these on his own.
Yeah. I mean, what I would say with that is focus on the top one because the rest of them, certainly on Marvel Annual, the rest of them have popped up quite nicely. But the thing is, this is what I don't understand though. Keith has always said he doesn't collect anything numbered to under 50. So, anyway.
Well, and I know in Marvel Annual, because I did some Pack Wars in Marvel Annual, if you finished in the top 25 or you finished in the top, you got both of them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Otherwise, there'd be, if that was for places 11 to 25, then it wouldn't be numbered to 25. It would be numbered to 15.
Right.
That's what I mean. But this one is 26 to 50, and that is only 25. So the next one is a white rainbow parallel featuring Mariko Yoshida. I have no idea who that character is, by the way.
She's a Wolverine love.
Is she? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. And then collectors who finish within the top 50 wins will receive the following cards. So here you go. So if you are in the top 10, you will get all 3 of these. A white rainbow parallel card numbered to 50, featuring the Maker. And here we go, Jason. A white rainbow parallel card featuring Spidey 2099 numbered to 50. So if you're in the top 10, you're going to get 3 cards. If you're in the 11 to 25, you're still going to get 3 cards. And if you're in 26 to 50, you're still going to get 3 cards. Wow. Okay. That's decent. All right. And then here we go.
No.
Oh, wow. There's a carnage. So this is getting confusing. Collectors who finish within the top 51 to 100 wins will receive a white rainbow parallel card featuring Carnage numbered to 50. Now, from past experience of Marvel Annual, I know you don't have to do an awful lot to be within the top 100. So, you know,
yeah, but it seems like more people are playing recently, because I know with the annual earlier this year, that it was a little bit harder to get in the top 100. I gave up. So, and especially if Carnage is the bottom card, there's going to be more people.
People are going to be
yeah,
struggling to like, you know, when piglets are struggling to feed the teat, they're all trying to pile in. It's going to be like one of those. I'll leave you with that image.
thank you for that.
I didn't expect to go there in my head, but that, yeah, it just pops out. People are going to go for it. I remember back in Marvel Annual 2018-19 days. Oh, the good old days. The good old days before you even knew Marvel cards existed, you whippersnappers. I remember in those days, literally, you could buy and win 3 or 4 things and you'd be in the top 100.
Yeah.
So from what you're saying, it sounds like those days are gone. But that was when packs cost $3.99. So what else can I tell you? Cool. Oh well, it's coming. And who knows what will be in weeks 2 and 3 and 4, and I don't know how many weeks it will run for.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
It seems like maybe they did that to kind of switch it up, because I do remember what this last annual Pack Wars went like 12 weeks or something, and like the first 3 weeks it was a barrage of, you know, getting anything. You had to play a lot, but then towards the middle it kind of died down a bit, depending on who was at the top. But and then at the end it got hard again. But she said,
hello.
So I wonder if they're switching up the types of cards they're getting to try to keep the consistency going.
Yeah. I mean, at least it sounds to me like they've planned it out and done the math to actually ensure that they get through all the weeks they've got planned. Because I know previous years, in fact, I think Marvel Annual this time run out midweek again. So your leaderboard doesn't last the full 7 days. You know, because when it sells out of the price things, it's sold out.
Right.
You know, so anyway, what I was going to say, Wesley, is can you do me a favor? Can you just touch your screen right now? Because that is as close as you're going to get. I've got a touch sensitive screen. But seriously, that is as what have I just done? Let me zoom out. Hang on a minute. I can't do it now. But yeah, that unfortunately is probably as close as you and me are going to get to that, unless you decide to spend this month's mortgage payment on it.
And these are just the week 1 achievements, or is this
this is just week 1. Yeah, this is just week 1.
Wow.
I don't know where she's gone. She's somewhere on the screen. I don't know where she is. She's somewhere on the screen.
Wow.
Where are you, Felicia? I've lost her. So I'm going to stop sharing because that was embarrassing. I'd like to think Wesley reached into the screen and got a copy.
I pulled her out.
Pull up. Right. Right. Where are we? Let's move on from Mob Beginnings. Did any of you watch or even open the new Marvel Annual or Thor Love and Thunder?
I watched your openings.
Okay, and
I did open a little annual. I did open a little annual.
You did open a little annual.
Yeah, and I got there a little late for the Love and Thunder. You did that first yesterday?
I did Love and Thunder. So yesterday I did a triple because I had them all stacked up and I've been so busy and ill that I didn't have a chance to do it. So yesterday I did a triple. I did Thor, Love and Thunder, and then I had a palette cleanser with a box of Eternals in the middle, and viewership declined. And then they came back for Marvel. They came back for Marvel Annual. Listen, I've opened 8 boxes of Eternals in the past week, and I've been having a blast. I've got another 7 in the other room, 6 in the other room. Maybe I've opened 9. I've already pulled a Kit Harington Black Knight auto inscription, Barry Keoghan auto number to 5, and someone else's autograph, and an Era film cell, which has got Don Lee as Gilgamesh, but the image is Falcon and Winter Soldier. So my daughter actually pulled that and the 2 of 5 auto. So I'm going to let her open the next box.
Wasn't it a Don Lee auto you pulled?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, it was. Thank you. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember who it was, but that was fun. Anyway, I'm just very quickly going to touch on them because I don't necessarily want to do a whole episode about reviewing either of them. Thor Love and Thunder. I won't lie to you. It was challenging. There's some great imagery in it, but I really do feel for the fact that I think Upper Deck, my perception is they're contractually obliged to do a set for every release. And I think they've done a pretty good job with what's there. So I'm going to make myself big on the screen. I'm going to start holding up some stuff, and you can, if you didn't manage to see it, you can have a look. Right. So base cards. I mean, the base cards are fine. They've kind of got this border there, which doesn't really. It has kind of got a slight foil to those Thunderbolts,
right?
But it's not that. The back is kind of, is what it is. So it's okay. Some of the images you really, really can't see what's going on. Those special effects images, and you're like, what is? It's like that one.
Oh,
it's like, what is it? I mean, it says, "I'm going to get you out of here," and it's talking about a projection with magic. I don't know. It's some sort of, and I think if you've seen the film, you'd get it. But as a card on its own, it just doesn't stand up. So anyway, so there's base card, but the parallels. I want to talk about the parallels. The parallels are quite fun, actually. So you can tell they've had a bit of fun with it. So you've got a parallel called Love Silver, and what it is, it's got a lot of foiling, and can you see it's got those hearts in the foiling?
Oh yeah,
wow.
So it's actually quite neat. As there we are, you can really see it. So, and the lightning has got a lot of silver in it at the edge as well. So, they're actually, I mean, they're beautiful, and there's no QA issues whatsoever. Well, actually, no, there is a one QA issue. I'm going to come to that in a minute. But look at that, isn't that bonkers? So, if you dig characters in the film, I mean, like with most Marvel sets, they tend to have the base cards, and then they have like a series of ensemble cards, which are portrait of different characters, including the goats. Yes, the goats have their. Hang on, which one? There we go. The goats have their own cards. So if you really, really wanted to know who the goat of the Marvel cards hobby is, it's this card here. It's no one person. It is this card I have in my hand. There is even a card of both of the goats.
Okay. Is there a dual goat auto?
I don't believe there are goat
prints.
autos. But Tooth Grinder has an ensemble card. Lady Sif has an ensemble. I don't even remember Lady Sif being in the film. I'd remember if Jamie Alexander was in the film. Maybe I need to rewatch it.
Well, the problem is the film was crap.
Yes.
I enjoyed elements of it. I enjoyed Russell Crowe a lot. And of course, most people are going into this set because Natalie Portman signed. So right. people are thirsting for that, I would say. And her card does look pretty good. So you've got the ensemble cards. And the reason I say that is because the Love Silver, I've got a Love Goat. I pulled a Love Goat. So I could rainbow Tooth Grinder the goat. I pulled a Love Goat. Okay. Now at this point, you're probably thinking, what other parallels are there, Ian? Well, let me tell you, my friends. We have another type of parallel. And I know this because I've started to get my goat on. Thunder Silver. So instead of Love Silver, it's Thunder Silver. And it's kind of got a different foiling. Can you see that? It's kind of got a It's
got some circle effects.
Yeah, it's got some circle effects, and the lightning's blue at the edge. So, and it's fine. I've seen that effect before. It was on Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it's okay. It's brilliant. But look, I've got the goats in that one as well. So this is a goat box. But I'm also very pleased to have gotten the ensemble of that and the Love ensemble of no, hang on. This is the Thunder ensemble of the Thunder parallel of the ensemble. So I'm probably going to rainbow that one, as are hundreds.
Everyone, that's the one that everyone's going to be in.
So that's that's cool. What other parallels are there, Ian? Well, I can tell you, I got two others. I got two other types of parallel. I got one called Love Red. So it's the hearts again, but it's got red foiling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see that? And it's numbered to 99.
Oh.
You just about to see it. It's about there somewhere. My camera's rubbish. You just about to see that it's got a number there. There it is. So anyway, there's that one. And then there's another one that's numbered to 299 called a hammer die cut. And you'll see why when I hold it up. It's like, where's the corners? Where's the corners of this card? And that could be a fun one for grading, because I don't know if that means it's now got 8 corners that are going to need to judge as opposed to 4. So yeah. So there we go. But yeah, and that's kind of just got silver foiling. It hasn't really got anything else going on in terms of the foiling. It's just a die cut, and it's numbered to 299.
I don't know why it just popped in my head. I'm thinking if they ever come back with geodes, it'd be cool if they did the corners like that.
Yes, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Right. So let me show you some of the inserts. So the main insert was friends from work. I do quite like these because they've got they're just fun. They've got like Thor's face, and they've got a kind of a silver foiling.
That is kind of cool.
It is quite cool. Now, what I want you to do is just notice the bottom of the card has got like a silver bar across it, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And they've all kind of got that. All of them. Okay. So I just thought that was quite interesting because it doesn't do it at the top. You know, it cuts off through the image. So the bottom has got kind of a silver kind of border bit. But anyway, they're there. I don't know if there's parallels of these because I only got 4 of these. There's characters I'm like, who is that?
That's
Some
Meek.
sort of Meek. Who's Meek? I've seen the film and I don't remember seeing this image.
He or she or whatever it is was briefly in Love and Thunder, but he was in Ragnarok. He was he was one of the gladiators with Korg, and then in Endgame, when Thor's living in the house.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Yes. Okay. Fair enough.
He's with Meek and Korg.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So 1 per box. I got a new Asgard insert, which is fine, I guess. It's kind of silver foiling. Reminds me of the Shang-Chi design a little bit.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all right. Yeah, so it's one of those. Film cells are back. Acetate. So, it's fine. I think they're autograph versions of those. And then you've got an insert. I only got one of these called Powered Up, which is very shiny. Look at that. It's like a mirror foil.
That's pretty cool.
I like those.
that. Yeah. And that one's Ravager 4 at the beginning when he's with Guardians. But yeah, it's got some nice kind of embossing on the foil there. You can see it's got Powered Up written down the which finger's going where? Hang on.
Whoa.
Written on this edge, Powered Up. You can just about see that there. There you go.
Okay.
So, that's different.
Yeah, it's right. It's nice. And this is the other insert. It's called Omnipotence City. So it's all that scene where you're in Zeus's kind of world, and there's loads of foiling on it. Okay, so there's that. There's 3 of those. It's one with Hemsworth with his clothes off. Sit down, Wesley. And there is one of Korg.
You blew too hard.
Right, so you got these. What I want you to notice on these, on all 3 of them, okay, you see the bottom.
Yeah.
It's kind of got a strip.
Yeah.
It's got a strip along the bottom. And that strip along the bottom perfectly matches up with the patterning.
Oh, no shit. Look at that.
Do you see what I mean? So it's clear that they've clearly been cut adjacent and they've slightly overlapped. And it's on every one of these and every one of these.
No shit.
Wow.
So that bit of silver foil you get on the bottom of this is from the edge of this. And that bit there is from the top of this card.
Wow.
And it's on every single one. So that's unfortunate. It's not gonna. I'm gonna say now, it's not gonna make them more sought after in any way because it looks to be across the entire print run. Every card I had that from these 2 inserts. So I don't think it's a unique thing at all. So before anyone lists them on eBay as an error card at 4 times the price, notice that, my friends. So it wasn't. So I think if you're into the film or if you want to rainbow a certain character, go for it. I got an auto, not a top tier auto, and actually a very tough. Autos in this are like 2 per case, I think. So it's difficult, but yeah, that one of the kids, basically.
That's Heimdall's son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of the kids. So definitely one of the lowest tier autos. You'll notice that the cutoff on those is not present. So that one is aligned. And in fact, it's very, very slightly different in terms of the layout of the Friends from Work bit at the top. But I can't argue with getting an auto in the box. So I think if you're going for the autos, there are different auto designs. This is just one of them. Just be careful about buying up boxes hoping to get loads of autos. I mean, if you hit big with a Natalie or a Hemsworth, then fine. Apparently Christian Bale's signed, but I've not seen any of his cards out there. The thing that I do find interesting is very much akin to Eternals, and there being no images of Angelina Jolie on any of the cards in that set because of contractual rights. There are no cards in this product that I've seen that feature Christian Bale's image.
Really?
At all. Yeah. None of the base cards feature him, and none of the inserts that I've pulled feature him. Now, I might have got, but because obviously I don't get a full base set in a box, and obviously I've only got some of the inserts. So it may well be that he's there and I just didn't get him. But I just thought it was odd that I've probably got half the base set there, and he's in the film a fair bit, and not one of them has his image on.
Well,
wow.
What about Russell Crowe? Did you come across any images of him?
That's a very good question. I think I did. Let's have a quick look before we move on to Marvel Annual. A very quick look. I don't know. Lots of photos of Chris Hemsworth with and without clothing. Lots of photos of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I kind of forgot that this is kind of Guardians of the Galaxy 2.5. This film. I'm kind of over Guardians of the Galaxy. I won't lie to you. I'm kind of done with it. Is Russell Crowe in any of these cards? You can see him from the back in this image.
Okay.
Okay, but that doesn't mean to. I mean, what's not to love about that image? That's fun. Is he in it? I don't know. I can't see him. That's a very good question. Lots of goats. There are more goat images than there are of anyone else.
Right.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not in any of the cards.
Okay. Interesting.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's chances are it's probably that. Anyway, let's move on to Marvel Annual. Marvel Annual. I mean, usual thing. They've changed the layout of the base card slightly, but you get the idea. They're quite nice. I think if people do like these.
I do. I've been kind of on Annual since 2018-19 because I'm, but I really like that the images are bigger and more kind of in your face, and so I
the
definitely
base cards,
like this year's. Yeah,
and some of the images are great. I mean, if you're a character collector, some of the images they've got in here. I did pull a base card Black Cat. Unfortunately, it's not with me; it's in the other room, but it is very good.
The art procurement is one of the best that they've had in a while.
That's
the thing is, it's fresh as well.
Really good.
Yeah,
it's fresh. It's images you've not seen because the whole idea of it is that it's from the past year of comics.
Correct.
So, and some of the costumes, I'm like literally. I mean, Wesley, there's your boy. It's Chasm.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I got that one, but I have to agree with Keith. I think that there's just something about the art that they chose this year.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of I don't know how to say this, but there's some great pictures of the female characters.
Yes, there are. They've chosen them well. I mean, you got Keith. I've just realised who's behind Jubilee in that card.
Oh yeah, and her card actually is phenomenal in this one.
Yeah. So Keith, are you saying there's an X-23 card as well?
There's a Laura Kinney card.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
They actually specifically designated it as a Laura.
I noticed that with another character, actually. There's another character.
There's two of her now floating around.
Ah, right. Okay. Madam, is it me? I remember Madam Web as being an old bird.
That's been around for a little while.
I just remember her being really wizened. Like, oh,
yeah, no, that's the second Madam Web.
Oh, right, okay. I'm just trying to have a look. There was a character, and I was like, oh, why have they listed it as that? Kate's Pride. Is that different to Kitty Pride, or is it the same character?
No, it's her. I don't know why they put her name on there and not her code name.
It. Yeah. Anyway, so there's your. Oh, hang on, I've got more base here. Invisible Woman was the first card I saw, and I was so disappointed that it wasn't a see-through card. They missed a trick there. They really missed a trick there. Carnage. I mean, it's a one joke thing, but it would make me laugh from now to eternity. Scarlet Witch. I think that's a really nice Scarlet Witch image.
Russell Dowderman. I probably just butchered his pronunciation of his name, but
it's fine. I'm not disagreeing with you in any way, shape, size, or form.
Then you got
sorry.
Have you seen the Dazzler card?
Not in the base.
I was trying to get this.
Hang on, Wesley. Let me make you big.
I liked the bordering on the last ones more.
Yeah, the bordering on these is really plain, and that's what I think they've. Oh, nice! Oh, you got the silver as well.
That's cool.
Well, let me show you. Let me show you this last one because this is my favorite card in the set. But
pull it back.
See how it's the multiple.
Oh, multiple dimensions. Okay, so that's what they're doing with the lenticular this year.
I can see a lot of people liking that one.
Right. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that you do.
Yes. No, that's fine. Yeah, I got on multiple dimensions.
The Cleo
Lunar Snow. Oh, hello.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's really cool. Were you done, Ian? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that's absolutely fine. So on my silvers, I got Uranus.
Nice.
Who's Uranus? I'm sorry, it's a funny name. It sounds like Uranus. Prove me wrong. Moon Knight.
That's cool.
It's nice. Gas Lamp.
Oh, I'm so glad you got him because you were like, who the hell is Gas Lamp? And now you got him.
Oh, I know. I've also got Exhaust in here somewhere.
He looks kind of cool to me.
I'm so glad you got that card.
Photon?
Okay. That works with the silver.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And Shatterstar. There we go. What else do we get? So the variants are are nice, actually. They're kind of a canvassy this time. So you got Mr. Sinister. That's a nice card. Captain America. You know, and I actually like the canvas a lot. I think they're really good. Robbie Reyes. You know, and they're cool. Magneto, Iron Man, Blade, Bay the Blood Moon. Who's Bay the Blood Moon?
Can you show the Blade? That Iron Man looks really good.
The Iron Man's really good. Yeah. I like the Iron Man this time.
They picked some. I think the image selection is great this
year.
It's more dynamic and in your base, whereas. Oh yeah, I've been wanting a Rainbow of Blade card. That may be the one.
Oh, it's a nice one. It'd be a good one to Rainbow. I'll tell you what, the Crystal Clear will look good on that.
Yeah.
Which are number to 10, I believe. I didn't pull any of those. Then you got a really weird one, Superheroes of the Year, and it kind of looks like a magazine cover.
It's kind of got that Time magazine.
Yeah. So it's kind of got a gold for. It's really nice, actually. Yeah. I'm less convinced on the images they've used for this. I won't lie. I don't think they work quite as well as the base cards. So you got Wolverine there. You got Luke Cage. It's kind of all right. And then you got Shang-Chi. Yeah, they're fun.
I like the design, but I'm with you. I don't know if the image selection works, but the design is cool.
I'd have been very happy with a Black Cat one of those, though.
Yeah.
That would have looked nice. I don't think she's a superhero of the year, though. Top teams. X-Force. So top teams is good. Top teams of 2022. Does it say 2022? Yes, it does. And they're nice. They're forward. I really like the back because it kind of splits them out with the names.
Yeah.
So I really like the design of that. That's nice. Who's in that? Who is in that team?
Domino, Kid Omega, Beast,
Black
Sage.
Tom, Passery, Sage. Yeah. Okay. Then you've got Knights of X. And you've got Shatterstar, Gambit, Richter, Bay the Blood Moon, Rachel Summers, and Captain Britain, who's a lady. So I'm so behind on who's who in X-Men, but I'm okay with that because there's only so many hours in the day, and I cannot keep up with modern Marvel
When was
comics.
the last time we actually had an insert set that was teams?
It would be the Marvel Annual 2018-19. Because you had top villains, top issues, top... actually, no, you didn't have teams. You had top villains, top issues, top story arcs, top heroes. There were two others. Fights, yes. Yeah, that might be it, actually. I think there were 5. And they were 10 cards. It was so annoying. I think they've actually muffed one of the best inserts that they had. Number 1 spot. Look how teeny the comic cover is on the card.
Yeah.
It's a waste.
Yeah.
I as you know, I PC comic cover cards. These aren't going to make the cut this year. It's more border than it is comic cover.
Yeah.
Well, why put it so small in the middle? I mean, that is genuinely quite small when you're looking at it. And it's I mean, it's even tiny on the back. But yeah, if you're going to do a card of a comic cover, make the comic cover big in the frame.
I agree. Yeah.
It's so underwhelming. It really is.
Yeah, they got to cut that border in half at least. At least.
That's just,
That's a shame.
Upper Deck, you really muffed that. Exterminators. Keith, do you go all in with X23? As in, do you want that card?
Nope.
No. Okay. Right. Wasn't sure.
Had to keep it tighter.
All right. Fair enough. I mean, some of the covers are beautiful as well. I'd love them in a bigger, in a bigger card format, but they're just.
That's what I'm thinking. I have some of these books, and they're such great cover. That's like,
look at it. It's tiny in the middle. What?
I have like
it's
5
less than
of
half
those.
the real estate of the card.
I love that card.
Maybe they're waiting until later this year to come out with an XL format.
Good call.
This is that's brilliant. You're gonna have to clip that for the YouTube, Instagram. Look at that. That's a really detailed cover. Yeah, it's teeny tiny. There's lots going on that cover.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Upper Deck, you've muffed that. Call in the creative department. You need a stern talk. No, I'm so annoyed that they muffed that. I'm really annoyed that they muffed that. You had one job. Make the comic cover look good on a card, and you muffed it.
There's no work.
No, it's really easy. It's really easy.
Paste that bitch on there.
It. I genuinely don't understand it. Anyway, I've got a little pile here for someone who collects the Tiger Division and peeps, and there's a Lunar Snow. So there's your lenticular this year. So they seem to be character focused, the lenticular this year, as opposed to splashticular, which they've done the last 3 years. Which were really, really not very good, I don't think, in my opinion. But so they're nice. Okay, I suppose. I mean, not my cup of tea. I tell you what's really nice, as they were last year, the backscatters.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yeah, that looks really good.
And they did EPAC exclusive gold backscatters last year, which I didn't
I've got a set of those.
Ian, flip that over. How's that centering? Is it a little off?
I mean, the back looks okay. Don't forget the front is definitely a little off. The back isn't. Okay. Don't forget the front and the back are separate things. It's a sticker.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't. But the centering on the front is off.
It's a little off. Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have the backscatters been out?
Just last year.
Their second year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the one I really, really, really like. So suspended animation last year were exactly the same styling as the 90s suspended animation. This year, oh boy, haven't they jazzed them up?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, you need to.
I like this.
See
that. That looks really good.
It's stunning. It's numbered to 299. I mean, this one really fills the card, so there's not much clear behind. Hang on, I'm trying to get out of the way. I need to go this way and the card that way. There we go. So there's not much clear on this one.
No. That's still a pretty cool.
But it is wonderful.
I'm not familiar with that character, but
yeah. So yeah, no, hard number to 299. Just on the front. Sorry, 699. Apologies. So this is tier 1. I think as you go up through the tiers, they get. Yeah, this is 1 of 20. As you go up through the tiers, the numbering gets less. So that's 699.
Those are a specific insert, or is it for every character?
Specific insert. There's 20 of them. Suspended animation. So it's not a parallel. It's an insert. But yeah, thin acetate. I mean, they curve a bit out the pack.
I don't like those.
But it is nice. I've seen the Black Cat one on Instagram, and it's just. I know you've seen that as well, Wesley. Black Cat's got one of those. So Star Rookie's always been in Marvel Annual. I kind of hate the fact they use the word rookie because it feeds into the brigade that like to use the word rookie to describe Marvel cards. But yeah, you got Mother Righteous, who I've never heard of, so she must be a rookie, and Hallows Eve. Pretty sure I did hear of. You often have characters in here who've died and come back in a Star Rookies in previous years, so it's an interesting one. I don't think they're doing it this year. They used to do an in memoriam thing for people who'd passed. I didn't get any of those in the box. I don't think they're in part of the set this year. So yeah, I mean, it's a fun box. That's it. That's kind of all the highlights. That's all I've got to show you. So yeah, it is fun. The only other thing I'd say is when you get the box and you're kind of opening all the cards and you kind of get thinking, oh yeah, it's a nice, loads of packs in here. And then all of a sudden you hit bottom and you think, oh, what's going on? And you realize that half of the thickness of the box is a massive sheet of polished iron. They've done that on previous year's annuals. I don't know why they do it. Just give us more packs and bump the price up by 30 or 40 bucks. Or if you're aiming to keep it a slimmer product, just make the box smaller. I don't get it. Unless you want it to look like a big box, so when people buy it. But I just don't. Yeah, I don't know. That's just a meism. I don't think that's a genuine. I don't think that's a genuine gripe about the set in any way. That's just a meism. So take that with a big pinch of salt. But yeah, it's fun. So, and I think people will enjoy the blasters. Jason, have you gone downstairs to check for blasters yet?
Are the blasters out yet?
Yes, they came out a week after the retail.
Okay, so no, I went to the Barnes and Noble, I went to a Target, and it's been slim pickings. I mean, even on sports cards and other stuff, it's not like it doesn't seem like they're restocking. I mean, you can find Pokemon and different sports stuff. But as far as Marvel, back in when did Platinum come out? March. I found 6 blasters of Platinum.
Yeah.
And haven't found at one place, haven't seen any anywhere else, haven't seen any annual. So I don't know if it's just the market here. They just stopped ordering that stuff or what, but it's I think it's kind of random what they get too on their shipments. But I haven't seen a new Marvel blaster other than just, Shang-Chi's hanging out still.
I went to I was looking for some, and I went to Hot Topic the other day, and do you guys have those in?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Yeah, they had Loki boxes, Loki blasters.
They're worth buying.
Yeah,
in my opinion, because they got well. Simply because there's an insert that's exclusive to those. So the more people that buy those, the better, because I want more of those out. There's a lineup insert that's exclusive to blasters that I did in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I've got two for you.
Oh, bless you, sir. Thank you. No, it's interesting on that. I think at the moment people are waiting, checking regularly, and feasting when they find them. And I think annual's driven that, and I also think time of year's driven that, because the people who do rip and flip are stocking up for their cons. There's an element of that going on. Yeah. And people are buying them and flipping them as well. And I have to say, I think the large thing that's driven this is Platinum, because the next on my agenda of things to talk about was Platinum seems to be drying up in terms of stock that's out there. And people are is it fair to say that people are getting a bit twitchy about it?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a few posts where people are like, prices are starting to go up because there's not as much being ripped.
I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah.
I mean, an upper deck should be too. I don't like when a product stays around for a while. I want it to have its life cycle, go through it, and then kind of fade off. And if you need a box, you got to wait a little bit until somebody pops up with one.
Yeah.
But you're definitely seeing this. There's a scarcity out there right now.
But I like the fact that it's had legs. Because what we've seen with almost every other product, apart from maybe Platinum and definitely Masterpieces, is that people have ripped it and gone for it for a little bit, and then it stopped, and there's still plenty of product out
stale.
there.
Yeah, it gets stale.
With Platinum, even though there's been other sets coming out, Platinum's had a lot of room to breathe, relatively speaking. Flare hasn't come out yet, and that's the next original art set. It's soon. I think it's end of this month, possibly into June, but it's very soon. So I think Platinum, people are going for it because there's so much. I see people posting almost daily asking for, I want seismic this, I want the out 10s, or has anyone got the creator art variants? And I'm one of them. I happened to reply and said, yes, I've got this. And I looked at the comps and I could only see 2 for that card. And I pitched my price right in the middle. And he was like, oh no, that's more than I want to pay. We're quite far apart. Thanks. See you anyway. So people are kind of, on one hand, people have been used to picking them up really cheap. But on the other hand, because there's not much being listed now, they're not wanting to pay more. So I think people are wanting more product out, so that those prices drop again, because they haven't finished whatever they're working on. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but people seem to have been grading them really well, because it's that type of stock gets, really good.
I've noticed that too. It looks like there's been a lot of good grades that have come back on some of them, which kind of surprised me a little bit, because some of the boxes that I opened had some cards that didn't turn out so well. But
oh really?
Well,
I'm shocked.
Really? Yeah, I got a couple that were more.
I thought this was some of the best QC that I'd seen from Upper Deck in a while, like the best.
Well, I'm going to challenge you here. Try and rip a Platinum card.
You can't, can you?
That's what I'm saying. It's not. There's very little card in it, so it's more of a plastic and metal product, which is why it stands up so well. It's why they're grading so well. So unless you've got surface or centering issues, and I haven't really seen any centering issues, not that I look for that stuff, but my box was spotless, pretty much. So I think you're unlucky there, Wesley.
Yeah.
I think they've been pretty good, but I mean, you could literally fling it at the wall and it'll probably still come back a 9 or 10. Not that I'm suggesting you do it with your 1-on-1, but not that you have that 1-on-1 anymore.
Yeah.
But no. But that's the other thing. People are going bonkers over the 1-on-1s.
Yeah.
Like properly bonkers. Like
I think I was gonna say the only thing that that makes me a little sad is like if somebody's getting in the hobby in 5 years from now and I want to steer them to go get a Platinum box, it's probably going to be crazy money.
Yeah, and mind you, it's the same if you wanted to steer them towards a Masterpieces 18 box.
Yeah, right.
Well, 5 years from now, we might be on a Platinum Volume 3.
Yes, there is that.
That is a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah. So. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, it's great. I will say, I think there's an air of on the 1-of-1s front. I think there's been one sale that happened, and it happened in private, and there were a few voices calling for the fact that it should be transparent. So much so that the buyer felt the need to come out and publicly post about it. I don't think that's anyone's business if the deal was conducted in private. You might say that the price needs to be out there for transparency, and I think maybe so, but it almost got to it almost felt like people were demanding it, and no one used those words. I'm just saying that's how it felt. Before anyone writes in,
what's the reason for that? Why should it be transparent? I mean,
I think initially, I think it was posted for sale publicly.
No, it wasn't.
But no,
he showed it off, and he actually sold it via Instagram. This particular one. So I didn't see the Instagram post. I don't know if he's listed for sale on Instagram, but he certainly didn't put it up for sale in MCCW. But anyway, no, the deal was done in private via Instagram. So,
do you think in a way we've been spoiled being able to see?
Well, I think so. I think there's that. And, I think. Well, no, I think there's an expectation that if it's in, obviously with MCCW, and there's a transparency around, sales posts there. I think there's an expectation that extends to anything that might have been shown in MCCW but then sold elsewhere. That doesn't fly. I mean, if it's a private sale that happened on Discord, there's no of course there's no obligation to go to a different Facebook group and post what the details of the transaction were. That's not reasonable or pragmatic to do. But I do find it interesting that there is there was a slight vein of hysteria and determination to track them and to note the values on them. There was a very big sale that may or may not have happened at the price stated a couple of months ago. I say a couple of months ago, feels like a couple of months ago. Subsequently turned out that's been flipped. That PC card, that sweet PC card, graded, flipped for 5 figures.
Not shocking.
So, it's interesting that people do show their true colors. And I've got less personal bandwidth for people who choose to do that. But I realize that and acknowledge that people think it's okay to do that, especially on the sports side. And it's possibly a cultural American thing. So you do you. Just don't expect me to send you a Christmas card. Can we talk about something else? And this is the last topic, and you may or may not have feelings about this. How do you, when you've got like a card that you want to find out about, how do you kind of research it? What do you kind of do? Where do you go? Because I'm thinking, Wesley, you're relatively new in Marvel cards, and you've kind of come up with the content generation, as I call it. The post-COVID content generation. Keith, you were kind of around the same time, but I think you've managed to sail a very steady course through all of that and be quite open and pragmatic and aware of where you are with things. How have you found it to kind of information that's put out there and accuracy of it and doing your own research? I'm just curious to know your thoughts on it, really.
I think your first instinct is you want to figure it out on your own. So you're going to go onto Google, play around, go into your checklists that you're, all of your resources that you're used to using. And then there's also like the resource we have in the group of people that I just know to go to with something. I'm going to reach out to a Boyle, a Eugene, a Fausto of some sort and just say, hey, have you ever seen this before? Because these are guys that have been around, and I think that I have good rapport with some of them, so I can get some information out of them if I'm lost or confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm the same way. I would go to maybe if I find eBay solds and go through there or 103 point, maybe do some research there, and then if it's something that I'm just not sure about or freaked out or it's a big card, same thing. I mean, to you, Ian, the same, and take some input from that, but. In the end, the reason somebody sells a card for a price, it might be their, and this is going off to the other topic, I guess, is that they want to help somebody out or they want to and they sell it for a little cheaper. Is that anybody's business? But I'm going back to the other thing. Usually I eBay solds and ask the people. The group has been amazing for finding out information like that. And
when you're talking about pricing,
yeah. I mean, not only that, I will say if it's something that's been asked before, even the initial fire that you'll find in other forums, search the group, this has already been asked. It doesn't really happen. You'll get a couple good answers, and then someone will say, hey, this has been addressed at an earlier time. Here's a post where we talked about this card or this set or something like that. So just the group in general is where you're going to get probably the best mix of information to answer what you're looking for.
Well, because not only are you going to have the collectors, but you're going to have there's artists and there's like all kinds of people that can give input from different areas. I think, that might know a little bit more. And I've noticed there's some people, there's people that's been around this hobby for a long time. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of cards that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah. And that's the thing. There's a lot out there. I mean, Jason, I'm sure, on your rabbit holes when you've gone to look at comic covers that have been used elsewhere or characters and stuff, I'm sure you've had quite a journey when you've found stuff out.
Right. Yeah. And I'm with Keith and Wesley. Yeah, I like to find stuff out for myself, and I'll check eBay sold listings, because I used to do that when I was buying and looking for comic books, or maybe selling some. Would do that. But yeah, the group is pretty good as far as informational and people being real willing to help. It helped me when I first got into it. COVID happened, and there was a lot of, for a couple months there, once every couple weeks, there was Zoom meetups or group meetups where you got to know people, and I learned a lot and kind of got to know a few folks. So there's like Eugene is a guy I'll reach out to. Jonathan Dunn's another one. And then I found out as I've gone through, there's certain people that are more, everybody's kind of got their wheelhouse of, like maybe they know a lot about sketch cards, or they know a lot about this set or this character. And so you kind of learn who the gurus are on a certain thing. I've reached out, you and I've talked about autograph cards and memorabilia cards, and you've taught me a lot about stuff outside of Marvel. So yeah, you got to kind of find what you're into, and then kind of seek that information out, because there's not, I mean, like comic books, you can go and there's tons of websites on history of comics, blogs and stuff. Marvel cards, there's some. What's the name of that? Jeff Allender's House of
Checklists. Yeah.
That's good. I didn't know about that until being in the group, though. But like, that's a good one. But there's just, it seems like it's still, people are still kind of, I think, learning about these cards.
Yeah.
To a certain
I also think
extent.
Too, like because you can't just go by like the last one sold. And I think I saw a post where you brought this up, Ian. Like, if you've got a card that has at least more than one or two of them, you've got to look at like the last
valuations.
And,
You've got to. I mean, I posted that, and this is a rule of thumb that's not just for cards. It's come from video. Well, I learned that from video games and other collectibles. But if you're pricing stuff, sometimes you might not have the luxury of this if it's a limited card, but certainly look for 3 to 5 completed auctions, average those, and lop off 15%. Now, obviously, if there's an outlier with something sold at 99p, or someone stupidly bought something at $1,500, and and everything else is telling you it's like 60 to 70 range, ignore the outliers, because they will skew your data, and that's a standard thing with any kind of data set. But I'm kind of thinking away from pricing and valuing, just about information. Jason, you touched on a really good point there. There is no single source of truth when it comes to information about sets and what exists. There, you have to work off multiple resources. You've got the trading card database, but that is user uploads, and it may, it's like Wikipedia. It's kind of true to a point, but anyone can add information to it, and sometimes it might not be right. But it also doesn't have everything on there. It doesn't, it doesn't have all the images up there. It depends on whether someone's uploaded it.
It's almost surprising.
It is, and so some
that we don't have our own wiki. We don't have our own wiki that has all this stuff out there.
I mean, ultimately, it's got to earn someone money for it to properly happen. I mean, Beckett have got a decent one, and it's great. But again, it doesn't cover everything. Oh, my Amazon package is 8 stops away. Brilliant. It doesn't it doesn't cover everything. Sorry, it just popped up on my screen. I was like, woohoo. The one that you mentioned, Jason, this is one, and I'll get to why we're talking about this in a minute. Jeff Allender's House of Checklists has been going for decades. Okay. Unfortunately, and I don't know, Jeff does have I believe he has a Facebook presence. I believe he's of the older generation, and that site stopped being updated around the time of COVID. So for pre-COVID sets, it is pretty much your single source of truth for what sets were there, what they had in them, what the inserts were, what the numbering was, and all this sort of stuff. It doesn't really cope very well with the EPAC side of things. So on Marvel sets, I think, yeah, and that other people have contributed to it. So you can see people who've been writers in non-sport updates since the 90s. You can see people up there who've been blogging about cards since the 80s and 90s. You can see people who are stalwarts of the Philly non-card show. Yeah, people who know non-sports through and through. And like it or not, Marvel is non-sports, so it is part of it. So Jeff Allender's site has all non-sports sets. You can see Garbage Pail Kids, you can see Star Trek, you can see Star Wars, you can see DC movies, you can see Marvel movies, you can see all that sort of stuff on there. But, you know, it's a massive undertaking, you know, doing that. So for whatever reason, he hasn't updated it. We're blessed that it's still online. But when you go there, especially for pre-EPAC era Marvel sets, it is the nearest you're going to get to a single source truth. You won't see images of cards, but you will see where people have said, oh, yeah, have you heard of this thing in scientific research, observed phenomenon? Do you know that phrasing? Where basically, if it works in two ways as far as I understand it, and I'm not a scientist, so someone's going to correct me if I've got this wrong, but my understanding of it is that observed phenomenon means that normally you see something, you don't know what it is, you form a hypothesis, then you go and test that. Okay. But it could also happen the other way around. You've got a hypothesis, and then you go and look and see if what you're seeing in your studies or what in nature or in your scientific tests will be something that you see. You know, so observed phenomenon. Right. Similar concept is that Jeff didn't do it on his own. You can see on some of the older sets, especially some of the 90s and noughties sets, huge thanks to such and such who provided information about this release. You know, so other people, it's not just one person. Okay. So you've got to use that. You've got to use Beckett. You've got to use Trading Card Database. And here's the rub. Here's the rub. The checklists, as we all know from very recent experience, the checklists that are put out by the manufacturers are sometimes wrong.
Yep.
You know, we've had that very recently.
Not even sometimes, often.
Yeah. Didn't used to be that. Rittenhouse were pretty solid on theirs, to be fair. Upper Deck do and have made mistakes, and I think that's possibly due to configuration changes and information not feeding through within the agency, because, you know, stuff's been happening thick and fast, and the poor sod whose job it is to update the 6,000 row spreadsheet of Marvel Platinum, I don't envy you. And if you made a mistake, you're human. It's fine. It happens. So that, I guess that's what I'm saying. The reason I bring this up is because there's a post on group, and I'm not going to go into the specifics of it because it's unfair on the parties involved. However, someone swore blue that the card swore blind, rather blue, blind, red, whatever, that the card being shown was a fake, and went into quite detailed description of how. And even though people who have collected that set for years, I mean literally for years, and have seen pretty much everything that set's had to offer, including the really rare observed phenomenon of stuff that may or may not be on the checklist, is astounding, quite frankly, that someone would go to those lengths. Hear multiple people who are those experts you spoke of. You know, if you go to this person, they're an expert on this. Someone messaged me the other day and said, oh, I've got a sealed box of masterpieces, but it's got a different shrink wrap to this. You know, I've seen 2 out there. And I said, I've got to be honest with you, I don't know, but here's someone who might, and I steered them towards that person. And one of the best. Sorry, I'm going on a tear now, guys. So forgive me. But one of the best pieces of advice I was given when I used to do really regular client meetings and I was presenting information about, the campaign to the client, was don't be afraid if the client asks you a question and you're quite junior to say, I don't know. And I see that all the time on content. People are asked questions and they try to field it and they put out wrong information. Now, again, people are human. There might be no malice to it, but people's instinct is to want to help or want to fill the void. If they don't know, they might, I've misspoken on this podcast and maybe, unintentionally, but if I don't know something, I'm old enough and ugly enough to say, I don't know, but this person might. I won't try and field it myself. So when you've got someone who's post after comment after comment after comment saying, this is a fake and this is why, it's one of these. No, here's a picture of the thing you're referring to. It's not that. But it is. At what point, can you tackle almost not? I'm not going to say malicious. I don't think it's malicious, but willful misinformation of that kind. Have you seen that happen anywhere else? Have you ever seen that to the scale that the post I'm referring to?
Yeah, every day. We live in America, Ian.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, no, I'm not talking about just generally within life in your media. I'm talking about within Marvel cards. But yeah, it's an interesting one, and it kind of got my brain frying a little bit. I don't get it when multiple people who really know what they're talking about are telling you that you're mistaken.
I've never seen it like that.
Yeah.
I've seen misrepresentation. I've seen things happen that are questionable.
Yeah.
I've seen behaviors that are incorrect, but I've never seen someone be so blatantly like grabbed by the back of the head and shoved in his face, no, you're wrong, and then still be like, but it's fake.
Yeah. I've already thought. Are any of you familiar with the West Wing?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. There's a scene early on in the series where Martin Sheen has a line that he goes, "You're wrong. Stand there and be wrong and be and be wrong in your wrongness," or something like that. And it's a really good meme and a gif. And Martin Sheen delivers it perfectly, and it's Aaron Sorkin's writing. So whatever you think of the West Wing, it's a great little meme. It will be the visual for this episode, because I think it's important, and I think it's important to help people. But I think it's also important as collectors that we're open to the fact that we might not have all the answers. It's about having that humility to be able to say, okay, I never realized that. Mind blown. Let's teach me more.
And on top of that, to have the humility to also say that you might not like the answer that you get.
Yeah. Especially if it feeds into your perception of what the value of the card might be.
Right.
Because I often think people hold on to truth because they think that it will, in some way, the reality of a card's provenance or a card's rarity or such like will somehow diminish its financial worth. I see that a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting phenomenon. I'm sure it's.
It's also why you see, a card will come out, a set will come out, and someone will get, $75 for, let's say, a purple variant from Masterpieces right now. And then a couple of weeks later, those cards are $20.
Right.
Because people don't realize initially how many could be out there, even though it's numbered. People have this assumption that it's going to be harder to get because it's numbered and low numbered. And you'll see with any set that has any numbering in it, the cards go very, very high initially when it's brand new. People just want to lock them up, whatever reason it might be. Yeah, FOMO. Sometimes people just say, forget it. I just want to get it and get it over with and not chase it.
Fair enough.
And then as the product, has its life cycle, some of those cards go for some really, really cheap amounts. Yeah. To this day, we've talked about this multiple times on the show.
Yeah.
2018 oranges and purples go for the dumbest, cheapest amounts.
I picked up a raw tier 4 Captain Marvel orange from Masterpieces 2018 for $60 raw.
Yep.
It's beautiful. Yep. It's lovely.
Yep. I'm fine with it. Keep selling them for that much.
Yeah, but it's
good
an
for
orange.
me.
tier 4.
Good for me.
Numbers are 99. Yeah, it is quite astonishing. So I would say, the best, I want this conversation to help people. So I would say, be open to seeking out the people who know about certain things, but also use all those information sources, because in the process of steering this person to the Islanders' House of Checklists, the response was that's not a legitimate source, and that Beckett should be your go-to. Now, it doesn't matter if a big company brand is attached to your information source or not, but Jeff Islanders' House of Checklist is as legitimate as you come. And Non-Sport Update used to publish price guides that used to feed into that, and that's now owned by Beckett. Didn't used to be, though. And the Non-Sport Update price guide, if you go back, maybe 10 years now, it used to be every set each time. It got quite thick. And then they started only putting like highlights in. So, fairly recent sets or sets that move a lot. And they started putting out like volumes of almanacs where you had all that pricing info. But along with all the pricing info, you had all the set listing. So, a lot of this information is out there and it's published, and it's phenomenal. So, use multiple sources, but, ask people. And if multiple people are saying this person is the person you should speak to, this person is the person you should listen to, maybe have a listen. Don't know.
Good point.
It was a maddening. It was a good read.
It was a really good read. It was maddening. It was entertaining as well. In the end, I feel no shame on this, but I'm going to say it anyway because I feel slightly ashamed of it. I muted the guy because I said you've got to cool off. You've got to cool off. You're spreading misinformation. You've been told several times that you're spreading misinformation. Maybe chill out. Have 24 hours. So yeah, but sometimes that's all you need. But I appreciate that if you do quick research, you might initially find, and that's the thing. Not everything you read on the internet is true. At this point, Jason's going to fall off his chair in amazement. It's true,
Wow.
Don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Wow.
I know.
I'm shattered.
Well, on that note, ladies and germs, I'm going to get off my soapbox. And Jason, I'm going to ask you to sign us out this week. And we will see you very soon, folks.
All right. Enjoy collecting.